Hello, Team East to West, and welcome back to New to Two. This is Tisha Clapp, and today I am bringing you Recruiting Part 4, where we are going to talk about overcoming objections. All right, the first thing I want you to do is write down a couple of documents that I'm going to have you print out. One of them is located in this group. It's a file that Liz uploaded on May 19th, and if you'll go up to the search bar and type in Overcoming Objections, you may have to scroll down through a couple of videos that pop up too, but you'll see a file that's called Overcoming Objections and Prospecting Language. This is something that Becky and Liz put together, and it's a big document full of all kinds of great language helps, and there's going to be stuff in there about overcoming objections. Okay, the other thing I want you to print out is go to teamrockandrobbins.com, and you're going to need to log in because we're going into the consultant-only files. So the login is the username team, T-E-A-M, and the password is also team, T-E-A-M. And go into the resources tab back in the consultant-only files. You're going to see a document in there called Overcoming Objections, and I want you to print that one too, okay? So you've got those two things in front of you, and if you guys don't know this, the very first call that I ever made to a prospect, I was reading from a script. Yes, it was completely awkward for me and probably for her, and no, I did not close a sale. But you know what? It got me off the block, right? I needed that help to just know what to say, how to get started, and after a few of those kind of awkward calls, they started to get a whole lot better. So you're going to have these two documents. The other thing you're going to be doing is bringing your sponsor three-way calls, and so you're going to get to hear her language as she's answering objections, and you're going to gain that language for yourself. You're going to get more confident about it. So I want you to have these two things handy because this is going to be it for you. This is how you're going to work through these objections, okay? Next, what I want you to do is to take the recruits that you're looking at this week, and if you didn't do this during the prospecting phase, you're going to kind of create an outline for each of your recruits. And what's going to go on this outline is going to be their passions and their pains, okay? So at the top of the sheet, you just write their name, and then the passions are pretty easy to figure out. It's all over their Facebook feed, right? They love to travel, they love their family, maybe it's UT football, maybe they love expensive things, designer clothes or handbags, maybe they love to decorate. Just all of that, you know, maybe they love recognition or accomplishment, maybe they're competitive. Look for the things that that they're posting about, that they're passionate about. And for some, it's a ministry or a cause that they're very involved in and that they would love to even maybe be able to give themselves to more fully. All right, then let's look at their pain points. And what this is going to be, these are going to be the things that kind of are your objections in the end, okay? And this is not going to be posted all over their Facebook feed. You're going to have to be a little more intuitive. Just knowing your friend and or some of the things that she's told you so far as you guys have been having conversations. What are their struggles that they're having? Maybe it's a financial issue. Maybe it's time. You know, she's very busy with home life, or maybe a very demanding career that takes her away from her family. Maybe her husband's not super supportive, or she doesn't have a lot of family nearby. Maybe it's like me, you know, just being at home with my kids for 14 years, I'd really lost touch with a community outside of that and was really looking to reconnect with people. So kind of figure out what things are causing her pain in her life. And then you may also want to look at down the road what's coming down the pike for her, right? Because, you know, maybe her kids are getting older. They're going to start driving. They need a car and you got to pay for insurance. Maybe they're about ready to go off to college. Or what if they're getting ready to have a new baby? Maybe she's been working full time and she's going to be home with this new baby. Maybe her husband's getting ready to change jobs and they're moving out of their city or state. Aging parents that they're going to be caring for. There's so many things that, so many changes that may be coming toward her that are going to shift that passion pain balance. And so you always want to be looking for that so that you know how can Rodan and Fields help. Then you're going to go and find stories that are going to match up, okay, with this outline that you've mapped out for them. And I would say, first of all, look at our team. You know, what stories have you heard from our leaders that, you can kind of pull out that would be applicable to them, or go to the Redefine Your Future blog. I love this. You can search by occupation, so you could type in nurse or lawyer or stay-at-home mom. You could search by travel if your friend loves to travel, or maybe college. And then you want to find a story. And I don't send that story to my prospect. What I do is I read that story and I learn what I can share with my prospect, okay, as I'm answering their objections. And I write that at the bottom of their sheet as well, what stories I have that I can connect back to them. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to ask them what's their objection, right? One way you can do this is just by having a super candid conversation and asking them what's holding them back. So you've got this person, this recruit, who's been going along with you, right? You're engaged, and for whatever reason, you just can't seem to get them to commit to a wedding date. You're trying to get that enrollment appointment, and they're just not following through. Well, obviously, there's something there that's keeping them from it. So you've got to ask. The other way that I love to do this is really just say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all and 10 being sign me up, where are you in this process? How interested are you? Nobody's going to say 10, right? Because otherwise they'd already be enrolled. So if you've got somebody who's maybe a 6, 7, 8, or 9, those are the ones that you want to keep going with in terms of answering their objections. If they're lower than that, I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. We're going to kind of cut them out of the business opportunity. But for somebody that is higher than a 5, you want to ask them about their objections. Maybe ask them, well, what would make you a 10? And then just let them talk, okay? This is super important. You need to give them time to air it out. And instead of trying to answer that objection right away, maybe give them a few minutes to kind of just put it all out there. And then what I would say that you want to do is ask them a question, all right? Get them to clarify. So if they say, I just don't have any money. Well, what's your budget? Or I really don't have any time. Well, how much time do you have? Or how much time could you give to this business? And sort of let them, again, kind of get it out there. Let them talk and give you some cues about how you're going to be able to move them through the process with information. Or also, sometimes they just end up talking themselves right back around, okay? And they realize, I probably could do that. Okay, so all of the objections are going to be pretty much the same, and they're going to be covered on those documents that you have. Money, not enough time, fear of failure, no support from, my husband or my friends. They're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like the direct selling model. I'm scared, I have no network, whatever it is, they're going to be pretty similar. As you continue to go through this business, you're going to find that everybody's objections are about the same. All right, and so it should be pretty easy for you after you get the hang of it to go back to that language and to take them through and answer those objections. One way that I love to do this is with the feel, felt, found method. And again, on the Sarah Robbins document and some of the ones from Becky and Liz, that it utilizes this feel, felt, found. So you would say, something like, I hear that you feel like you just really aren't a salesperson. I felt the same way too. But what I found is that these products are so amazing and that this brand is so powerful that it really sells itself. Okay, most of the people that are doing this business that I know do not have a sales background. I mean, we were this or that or this or that, and here's a particular story that might relate to you. Okay, and so it can be something that you've experienced personally when you say that I've found that I'm working this business in the nooks and crannies. I'm doing a lot of my business on the soccer field or in the pickup line. Or if you don't have that personal experience, take her back to that story and give her, Liz did this, or Becky's story is this, and she made it work. And then, kind of give it back to them, what do you think of that? Or does that help? And let them, again, come back. And so you're just going to kind of work through it like that, back and forth a little bit to give them more information. You could also take it to, sending them some videos or an email by telling them, this is great. I appreciate knowing just kind of really where you are. Honestly, it sounds like I need to provide you with a little more information. Let me send you this email or whatever to follow up. And then you kind of take them back to the step again. All right. And then I'm going to say that kind of the next part is figuring out, are they ready to close? And you are going to move them to that next appointment. So when, you kind of get them all those objections answered and they're kind of moving with you, then you want to call them to set up that enrollment appointment, okay? So does that help? Are you ready? Let's go ahead and schedule your enrollment appointment for next week. And on Monday, I'd love to, or tomorrow or whatever, get back with you and get this wrapped up, get you started, okay? So if though they're in that category of kind of being not, you start to realize like they're not ready. This isn't their time in this business. Either they were like 0 to 5 on the scale, or as you're starting to ask them, answer one objection, they're coming up with a new one that they didn't mention before. They're really backpedaling. They're scared, okay? They don't want to commit. Well, then what I would do is I would just take this business right back away from them. And the way that I like to do this is to say something like, I understand this business isn't for everybody, but guess what? Our products are. We have a regimen that will fit any skin concern. And so let's take you through the solution tool and find which products would work for you. That way you can get started on that and then decide, after you've had the product experience, if this business might be something you're interested in. How does that sound? Okay, and one of the reasons I want you to do that is I want you really to value this business and this opportunity that you have. It is a great gift, and if you, kind of cheapen it by begging them to join you, or, you feel so desperate that you're going to do whatever it takes to get them into the organization, then here's what's going to happen. Basically, you're going to be carrying that consultant on your back the entire time. And what that's going to do is really slow you down, okay? You're going to have to continue to give them the belief in the business because they didn't have it to start with. You want to find people who are interested. And so by moving those people off the table, you're freeing up your funnel, okay? What you don't want to do is continuing to bring the same people back month after month. Like, here's the prospect I'm working on. I'm working on Julie. Yeah, this month I'm working on Julie.